Hey, welcome back to YT Finance, and this is the channel where I went to business school so you didn't need to, and today we are talking about Sofi Technologies SOFI stock. So we're going to be going over the latest news updates, as well as we're going to be talking about the latest price predictions among professionals, which include 4 and 5-star analysts. Then from then on, we're going to talk about why the SOFI stock price is falling, and how I believe, and the author of this article believes, it could rebound very aggressively in the future, especially when the company becomes profitable. We're going to be going into detail about how valuable their Galileo and Technisys platforms are, and how it's going to generate them revenue and EBITDA, which is going to increase and cause their financials to absolutely skyrocket, which we could see reflected as soon as early May when their earnings report comes out. So we're going to talk about their earnings report on top of how low SoFi stock can actually drop due to fears of inflation, a stock market crash, and or an economic recession. Then lastly, we're going to talk about a new partnership that Sofi Technologies has entered into with TaxBit, which is absolutely phenomenal news, and this is going to clearly be revolving around the cryptocurrencies that can be bought and traded on Sofi Technologies platform. So this is all around very good news. So for more stock news updates on the SOFI stock price, remember to go and smash that like button right now, comment your thoughts down below about the SOFI stock price, subscribe if you are new, and without further ado, let's jump right into today's stories. So if you didn't know, Sofi Technologies is a fintech company, which is a financial technology company that offers an all-in-one inclusive digital app that allows their customers to access anything that they could possibly need in terms of financial products and or financial services. This would include checking accounts, savings accounts, credit cards, loans, mortgages, personal loans, student loan refinancing, as well as buying stocks and cryptocurrencies, which we will talk about at the end of this video. Currently, around 7 analysts from Wall Street say that this company is a clear buy rating right now at the current stock price of $6.17, while the other remaining 5 analysts from Wall Street say to hold the company. This gives Sofi Technologies an overall moderate buy rating right now, despite the current stock market environment due to fears of inflation, a recession, and rising interest rates. The average price target for the SOFI stock price in the next 12 months is $14.86, which would imply around a 140% upside from the stock's current price. However, we should definitely remember that we need to take analysts' price targets with a giant grain of salt. These are only guidance. This is not actually what is going to happen to the stock. These are just educated guesses about what the company could be worth in the next 12 months. This is why I think it's always good to weigh the bullish price prediction, which is the most positive price prediction, which is currently around $22, to the more bearish price prediction, which is as low as $10, and clearly that's the negative price prediction, which would mean that average price prediction, like we said earlier, is $14.86. However, if we look at more of the prestigious analysts that are right more than 65% of the time, we can see that these analysts all have a buy rating for the company and price targets of $13, $17, and $20. This would equate to around a 110% upside potential, a 175% surge potential from the SOFI stock price, or a 224% upside potential, which means we could easily double our money with this stock if this 5-star analyst is correct. So that would be the newest price updates for the SOFI stock price. But now let's move into the latest news updates surrounding Sofi Technologies. You all probably know that the SOFI stock price has fallen by over 70% since the company actually went public. However, the main problem is that the market is perceiving Sofi Technologies as just a student loan business and not as a one-stop financial services business. The reason why this is very detrimental to Sofi Technologies and the overall SOFI stock price, which is their ticker symbol, this has caused many investors to liquidate and sell their SOFI stock price because it's falling due to fears of the student loan moratorium being extended. And the student loan moratorium basically has frozen all federal student loans, which is where a large chunk of Sofi Technologies revenues actually come from. However, if we look deeper into their financials and fundamentals, we can see that Sofi Technologies during the year of 2021 experienced a 50% decrease from their student loan revenues. However, despite this massive decrease of 50%, the company is still growing their overall revenues due to their 3 different business segments of 45% year over year, and that's supposed to be the revenue growth rate for this year, and that is absolutely an astonishing number. 45% is absolutely amazing, and we will actually project this number out to where Sofi Technologies could be bringing in over $10 billion by 2030 and over $1 billion in earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization, which just means that this company is an absolute steal right now. However, with that being said, we always need to practice good risk management and not overexpose ourselves too much to a risky singular growth stock such as SoFi Technologies. So please be wise and not overexpose yourself to just one single company. The author of this article even points out that good companies can sometimes crash, which means that their stock price can be crashing while the company itself is actually doing very good. And he points out how Amazon declined at one point from being worth $105 per share down to only $6.71. And he says that SoFi Technologies is in the current state that Amazon was in. The company was worth a good amount and then it dropped all the way down to around $6, which means that right now could be a fantastic buying opportunity as long as you are not already overexposed to this particular stock. Always remember to practice proper risk management. How I personally do that is I only invest into a company until I reach a 5% portfolio allocation, which means my initial investment does not exceed 5% of the worth of my total portfolio. So this policy of mine actually forces me to practice proper risk management. But putting that aside, the author highlights that many good companies such as Apple, Amazon, Google, and Coca-Cola all have something in common, and it's that they all started as a small company. They didn't skip any steps, they endured adversity and very harsh market conditions. However, eventually they came out on top, and he believes that SoFi Technologies SOFI stock can do this exact same thing. What I also like about SoFi Technologies is that it was founded back in 2011 by Stanford Business School students, which is something that I can heavily relate to because I was a business school student myself at one point, and from my time in business school, I understand how these particular people were taught and the business model behind this particular company, which is why I personally am very bullish on the long-term growth opportunity of SoFi Technologies. So if you want a payback within the first year or two of owning this company may not be for you. Now, if you're willing to hold this company for over 2 years, then this could be a good buying opportunity for you, as long as you always make sure to do your own research to make sure that this company is going to be a good fit for your particular portfolio. SoFi Technologies has been very innovative because they were one of the first companies to refinance both federal and private student loans, which is where they got their start, which is why everyone views SoFi Technologies as just a student loan refinancing company, but they are so much more than that, and we will talk more about this when we talk about their Galileo and Technisys platforms. The author of this article rightly points out that most investors and the investment community have a false understanding of SoFi's business model and what they actually do, which is why they believe that the student loan moratorium, where these student loans have been frozen and students don't have to pay on these student loans, they believe has been very detrimental to SoFi Technologies, but in actuality, it really hasn't. SoFi Technologies, despite the student loan moratorium, had a record-setting year in 2021, and even though the student loan moratorium is not set to end in 2022, according to SoFi's management, we can still see fantastic revenue growth and EBITDA growth for SoFi Technologies. They're supposed to bring in revenues of around $1.47 billion and an EBITDA of $100 million, which would represent a 45% compounding annual growth rate year over year for their revenues, which is absolutely fantastic. This company is rapidly scaling. So the fact that some investors think that SoFi Technologies either lives or dies according to this article, according to the student loan moratorium, is completely incorrect. Even if the student loan moratorium is forever, it really wouldn't affect the long-term price appreciation of the SoFi stock price or SoFi's business model too much. This is why the CEO of SoFi Technologies has extreme confidence that SoFi Technologies will become one of the largest financial institutions in America, and I honestly think that this is very achievable for SoFi Technologies in the long run, mainly because of their Galileo and Technisys platforms, which creates a 360-degree entity. So not only does SoFi Technologies offer products to everyday customers, they also offer products and services to other institutions. Galileo specifically is their payment processing platform, and thanks to Galileo and Technisys, SoFi Technologies has provided around 5.17 million products to 3.46 million members. So just by classifying SoFi as just a student loan refinancing company is very inaccurate, because we can see their other segments absolutely exploding in total growth. And as SoFi Technologies becomes further diversified in their three main business segments, this is going to absolutely ignite the SoFi stock price. So SoFi Technologies, Galileo, and Technisys platforms were literally acquired to complement each other and to differentiate SoFi Technologies from other institutions and their competitors. For instance, the Technisys Cyber Core is a cutting-edge technology platform developed to boost a bank's business into a full digital transformation. And as we know, SoFi Technologies has received their bank charter and they are operating as a bank. The end goal is basically to connect Galileo's payment processing with the Technisys Cyberbank platform, which are both backed by SoFi Technologies' bank charter, which is absolutely insane. So we have literally a threefold business here, where SoFi Technologies can integrate themselves in banking as a service, also known as BaaS or BaaS, which is going to be absolutely phenomenal. SoFi Technologies' Galileo platform has very prestigious clients and customers, which would include Robinhood, which many of you may use their brokerage platform, Purple, and even MoneyLion. So these are very good clients to have for SoFi Technologies. On top of that, Galileo and Technisys will allow SoFi Technologies to save around $75 to $85 million worth of cost between 2023 and 2025, and from 2025 onwards, they're going to save around $60 million to $70 million per year on an annual basis, while also increasing their overall revenues. So like I've said in past videos, this is not only saving the company money, but it's also generating them more money, which is absolutely phenomenal. The author also points out that to his knowledge, there is not a single company right now trading on the open market that can copy SoFi's synergistic relationships and complementary relationship between Galileo, Technisys, and their bank charter. This literally allows SoFi to be a completely digital entity, while also giving businesses as well as their everyday customers such as you and I top-tier financial services and or products. This means that SoFi Technologies' competitors cannot replicate this success, or they can't replicate it easily. It also puts up a very high barrier to entry for competitors that have not yet reached SoFi Technologies' potential. I also want to go into detail about SoFi Technologies' projected 45% compounding annual growth rate for year-over-year revenue growth in 2022. If you look on screen, we are going to have the conservative scenario for how much SoFi is going to scale their revenues from now until 2030, and how their EBITDA is actually going to explode. And then we also have a bullish scenario. Now, I'm going to gravitate more toward the conservative scenario because I would rather not pump and overhype this stock, even though SoFi Technologies could beat these projections. So for 2022, like we talked about, they're going to bring in around $1.47 billion worth of revenue. And then from then on, they're going to experience a year-over-year revenue growth percentage rate of around 38%, 35%, 32%, 29%, 26%, 23%, 20%, and 17%, which is very normal for a company, especially a company that is rapidly developing extremely quickly, for their revenues to teeter off as time goes on. However, this would mean at the end of 2030, we could see SoFi Technologies bringing in around $10 billion worth of revenues and almost $1.5 billion of EBITDA, which is absolutely astonishing. So if you're willing to hold for the next decade, this company is going to be extremely lucrative. And remember, these are just the conservative projections. If we go over to a more aggressive approach, we could see that by 2030, the company could be bringing in around $14.6 billion worth of revenue and $2.4 billion of EBITDA, which is absolutely amazing. The CEO said that his personal goal for SoFi Technologies is for SoFi to be in one of the top 10 spots of financial institutions. This would mean that they are set to compete with Bank of America, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, and Citigroup, among many others. So overall, SoFi Technologies is absolutely amazing, and I believe in the long-term growth potential of this company. However, if you're not willing to hold this company long-term, regardless about what the stock price does in the short term, this may not be the stock for you. But now I'm going to talk about their recent partnership with with TaxBit, which I think is absolutely phenomenal. If you didn't know, TaxBit is a leading tax and accounting software provider for cryptocurrencies, which would include tokens, coins, NFTs, and many others. And it's very bullish to see that SoFi Technologies has joined the TaxBit network. This means that if you are buying and selling cryptocurrencies on SoFi Technologies' platform, this is going to make it very easy for you to calculate your crypto taxes with TaxBit. The TaxBit CEO even said, and I quote, "Adding a company like SoFi to the TaxBit network is a major step for the digital asset world. This is a traditional finance company entering the world of crypto in a big way. We are thrilled to have them join our network, and we look forward to assisting their clients in this new and ever-changing landscape," end quote. The CEO of SoFi also had this to say about this amazing partnership by saying, "Our mission is to help people get their money right, and joining the TaxBit network makes it easier than ever to do that by making it simpler for our members to manage their taxes on cryptocurrency." He goes on to say, "We have seen a growing appetite for crypto investing among our members, and we know that trend is only going to continue on as we see more and more people jumping into the market. We are thrilled to be getting ahead of the curve in meeting that need and the implications that come with the trading of cryptocurrency alongside TaxBit." So overall, I think this partnership is absolutely phenomenal. So if you use SoFi Technologies' platform and you are using them to invest into cryptocurrencies, feel free to check out TaxBit, which can help you do your taxes for buying and selling digital assets, staking coins, earning interest on tokens, NFT data, and many other things. And as always, this video is in no way sponsored by SoFi Technologies or TaxBit. I get absolutely no money from this. I just really like this company overall. However, always make sure not to overexpose yourself to a single company. Like I said before, that would be improper risk management, and we definitely don't want to do that. But overall, I would love to hear your thoughts down below about SoFi Technologies' newest price targets, their news updates, and their partnership with TaxBit. Remember to go and smash that like button if you haven't already. Comment your thoughts down below, subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you in the next YT video.